Any questions for the chief?
Yes, hi Chief. I know I sent you some questions previously today regarding the approved the budget for the Newtown Fire Association. I'm trying to understand some of the numbers in there.
Sure.
Especially with regard to retention and recruitment. And I hope you can explain about the item. Let's talk about the 2022. There was a line item for member retention of $128,730, yet we're, as of September 2022, only $7,355 or so was spent. Can you explain how, what the retention program, what the money is spent on, how much more may have been spent since September, and why so little of what was budgeted was spent on retention? I know it's a difficult problem, so there may not be very good solutions.
Our biggest expense will come in December. We run our stipend program from December 1st of the previous year to December 1st. So it'll run from December 1st of 2021 to December 1st of 2022. And that's when we'll make the biggest expenditure on the stipend program. So that's the biggest reason. The other reason is when we were approved by the money, we had to rewrite policies to make sure we had qualified personnel, because we want to qualified personnel in the apparatus to do the stipend program. The first quarter, the amount that we spent was very low. So the largest expense will come in December when everything is paid for the year.
And the stipend program, can you just say a couple of words about that, what that involves?
Sure. Currently we're paying $25 for 4 hours of coverage during the weekend. That starts 6 p.m. on Friday and goes till 10 p.m. on Sunday. Every 4-hour increment, they're paid $25. The reason for that is because of our union contract. We cannot pay over that amount of money, because then we interfere with the contract of the career firefighters. So for every firefighter, we have a minimum of 3 firefighters that cover that shift. So every 4 hours, there's a $75 charge to the retention program. And we have a minimum staffing of 3. We prefer 4, but we are riding out now because of limited resources with 3 on a truck. That is our weekend program. So that starts at 6 p.m. on Friday and goes to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Our second program starts at 10 p.m. Sunday and goes to 6 a.m. on Friday. When I say that, it goes from 10 p.m. on Sunday to 6 a.m. on Monday when the career staff comes in. So for that 8 hours, we pay the firefighters, the volunteers, $75 per week for being in that program. That ensures us 4 firefighters to respond on every call.
So this is to address the coverage for the weekends.
Correct.
When the career firefighters are not
That's correct.
available.
Yes.
And okay, so that's kind of the maximum you could really provide.
Yes.
Anything else that is involved with member retention?
We purchase our t-shirts, our uniforms come out of that, so that the staff looks like we appreciate them, and we all try to look the same when we're responding to calls, to have a professional appearance. And that's where the majority of the money goes from the retention program.
Okay. Now, I know maybe, will you be around later when we discuss the budget? I'm not sure when. I could ask this other question that
Sure.
I also informed you about, was the $330,000 in the budget, and that was told, it was characterized as with the hope that some significant portion of it maybe would be to enhance the volunteer program to ensure, we can have more coverage when needed. So if you're going to be around, maybe I'll just hold that off until the budget discussion.
More than happy to answer questions you have.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You get $330,000. Is it going to be into the general fund where you can put it wherever you want?
The $330,000 goes into the general fund. That covers the recruitment program and the operation of the fire association.
So in the approved budget, you already have that assigned, the monies?
That's correct. I believe you already received a copy of our budget?
Yeah. Maybe can I look at it again here?
Sure. The member retention program for the fire association is $149,910.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
$149,910.
What is that?
That's in the fire association budget that was presented to you a month ago.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the recruitment line. It looks like for 2023, there's like $3,000.
That's correct.
How
The
come?
recruitment money is used for the things that we buy to recruit, such as yard signs, any materials that we need when we're doing presentations to the public, trying to recruit members. That's the cost of that material. That is not used for the payment to retain the
Okay.
firefighters we have.
But now that 149,910, again, in 2022, you had 128,730 and you spent 7,355. I'm assuming, I don't know how much more you're gonna spend by the end of the year, but
I can tell you next month what the exact total will be, because we have a pay-per-call, we have the stipend program, a lot of different things go into that number, so to
Okay.
give you a definitive number right now, I cannot do that, because I have not done the final tally on the calls for service. The other thing, I think when we raised the contribution to the fire association last year, it was to go to the retention program, and a little bit of money that was left we would be able to put into our capital program, because I thought the understanding was that the fire association would continue to purchase the support vehicles and the municipalities would buy the large apparatus.
okay. I know that you've applied for the SAFER grant. We're trying to figure out, this is for now the paid firefighters. You're looking to get coverage on the weekends, and I guess we haven't gotten that grant for the third time. I guess we've struck out, basically, 3 strikes.
I'm told that there's $200 million of the ARP money that's still coming out for the SAFER grant. I talked to Chief Selicker the other day, and Northampton has not heard anything, but they're being told the same thing. I'm not real optimistic. I would love to see it, but I'm not optimistic at this point that we would be receiving the SAFER grant. It could change. If there's $200 million out there, I don't know all the dynamics to it, but I can tell you that Hackensack, New Jersey just returned $2.4 million that they were awarded. So
They return money?
that's correct.
Why do they do that?
I have no idea. It just came out in an article the other day that Hackensack, New Jersey returned the $2.4 million SAFER grant that they received. I don't know if there's more stipulations to it. I'm not aware there is, but apparently.
So these grants come with strings attached, basically?
Correct.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much for...
Yeah, and the rest of the money is the operations. Obviously, if you look at the fire association budget, it's not cheap to run the fire association. Our fuel alone, the career staff uses the fire association vehicle every day. The fire association pays for the fuel that vehicle burns. So, we're paying the fire association, and the fire association is paying part of it back to the township. So there's a lot of different dynamics that go into the budgeting process. Obviously, you guys know that.
And I just wanted to point out that for years, Newtown Township has given funds to the Fire Association, $160,000, $160,000, $160,000. And last year we did $330,000 because we wanted to do that extra recruitment and retention. But there's been funding for operations that we've been doing for years,
Yes.
and otherwise the Fire Association probably wouldn't be there.
You know, the history of the millage was when it first started in 1980. All the tax money went to the Fire Association for operations. That's why you never heard anything from the Fire Association. Obviously, most of you folks are new that weren't here in 1980. Some of us were around then. Through the last 12 years, the Fire Association took a huge hit by the funds that came from the township for reasons that have been repaired. Mr. Lewis has done a great job helping us rework the thing in the fire service agreement. The Fire Association is back where they should be as far as receiving money. A lot of the money that the Fire Association had saved, we had just to use to operate, because we are operating 2 buildings, and when your funds are cut in half, it's pretty difficult to operate. So, you know, the Fire Association is trying to make up ground now. Obviously, you know, everybody's trying to make up ground, but it costs a lot of money to run a fire department. Obviously, we need more career staff. There's not funding for that. So, you know, every day it's a different battle. So, you know, I appreciate what the board is doing, but it costs money to run a fire department.
So, is the reason you're not getting the SAFER grant is because we cannot guarantee the pay of 3 firefighters after the grant expires? Is that the grant we're talking about, right?
That's what I was told by the FEMA 3 director last year. We didn't receive the grant because the tax base didn't support the funding to continue after the 3 years of the SAFER grant.
So there's no reason to believe that's any different now?